What's up, guys? Welcome back to Off The Dribble, featuring myself, Ash, and my co-host Chetan. With the Sweet 16 starting tomorrow, we decided it would be best to give you guys a college episode. We're gonna give you guys a NBA episode soon as well. There's a lot going on in the NBA right now, but I guess with two pretty big games for both of us being tonight, Thunder, Celtics, Bulls, Rockets, both
Yeah.
like pretty big playoff implications. We'll discuss that tomorrow, and we'll give you guys college basketball today.
Yep.
So we'll start with a quick weekend one recap.
hmm
Well, we picked four or so of the games that really caught our eye from last week because, like, I've been talking about like Northern Iowa is not really something we want to do. So we'll start with the four, and if we think of any on the fly, we'll get to those. But after that, we'll give you guys our Sweet 16 predictions. After
Yep.
that, friend, should we do Elite Eight too? That's also this weekend, right?
That is it this weekend?
Let's just let's just do it too, just in case.
Yeah, we'll just do it.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start off with one of the better games of this weekend, St. John's versus Kansas. This is one that looked like it was getting away from Kansas early, but
Yeah.
Kansas really pulled it back. Darren Peterson had a good game.
Yeah.
Had a lot of points, but pretty inefficient. What was your thoughts watching this game?
It was in the beginning, like I was a little kind of shocked, like DP not showing up in the first half of like a bigger game.
Mhm.
Then when I think they were down like 10 or 11, with, like 4 or 5 minutes left, and that's when he like started getting like a bucket after bucket and kind of willed them back. But it was not enough. Then you go back to the last play of the game, somebody that didn't make a field goal the whole game gets a straight downhill drive to the basket. In my
Yeah,
opinion, not even a good contest or even like wall up to try and stop it. I think that was a game that Kansas should definitely have gone into overtime. And with the way
yeah,
DP was playing, with the momentum going into overtime, I could see them winning that game. But like this, a lot of the stories we're going to talk about is like bad execution on like literally one play that comes down. That's the last play of the game, and that's happened in a lot of these games.
yeah.
But
It happened in three of the games we're going to discuss, but
exactly. But
I,
I don't know. Like I'm excited for St. John's. I didn't think that I had them losing to Kansas actually. So this is huge for them. I like the way they're playing. Zuby's playing great. He's a two-way menace actually. Like I
his
knew
defense is so good, bro.
defense is crazy. I knew the offense and like the athleticism and like the activity on the rebounding was there, but the defense is crazy. He can stay on the perimeter with certain guards too, so that's really good. And St. John's, I forgot his name, Hopkins or something like that. Is that his name? He was he
Like
went
the shooters, or I'm not sure.
yeah. His name was Bryce Hopkins. He went
Yeah,
6 and 9 from three. So I mean, if their like supporting cast is shooting lights out, it's gonna be a tough game for Duke.
yeah. And if you guys watched the last college episode, you guys will know I have St. John's in the national championship game. So I expected that. I thought they would win by more against Kansas. I was pretty disappointed with their offense, honestly.
Yeah.
But Ejiofor, bro, that he's the reason that I picked them to beat Duke because, and we'll talk about that game in a bit. But I think he's gonna do really well on Cam Boozer. Um, but to talk about this game, I think for me, it exposed two really bad rules about college basketball that I think people are gonna say like, "Oh, just keep them, it's tradition," but like it's stupid to me. Like one is the no second foul on the last minute
Mhm.
because the fact that Kansas got to foul them four times and bleed
Yeah.
15 seconds of clock like that was just
He
like
executed
honestly
that perfectly.
no, but I think they did. Let me tell you why I think they didn't after thinking back on it, right? So they started with 16 seconds, I believe, on the clock, right?
Yeah.
Like if you just pressure them in the backcourt with that first foul, I feel like they took those first two fouls so quickly, bro.
It's
Like
because you because when you foul, they inbound the ball where the foul happened, right?
it's like you'd have to cross half court for them to
Yeah,
change where
and
they inbound the ball.
they didn't cross half court either for the first two fouls at
Yeah,
all.
you just grabbed him immediately.
Yeah.
So I think if they waited 3 seconds on both of those, then that last play doesn't happen. They had
But
like
those 3
28.
seconds in those 3 seconds, there's a possibility that they could cross half court, and then if you foul at that point, you're advancing the ball for the other team.
Yeah, but I guess that like with a
But
good pressure defense, bro, I think you could bleed a little more time. They
no
give him
thought. Yeah.
like 5 good seconds at the end there.
It
I
was the first
yeah,
two fouls were like within like they took
like
off
touch and
maximum
go.
total
Yeah,
like a second off the clock, and then I think the last couple fouls took
you were
off
done
a lot
well.
of
Yeah.
time.
Um, and I think bad defense from Kansas, but also a psychotic play call from Rick Pitino because he had a
Yeah.
corner three wide open with their best shooter as well.
Yeah.
But the second rule, I think it exposed as well, which I don't like, is when I call a timeout after a made basket in in the last 10 seconds, I should be able to advance the ball, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
You should not be coming. You should not be doing a full like 94 foot like inbounds play. That shouldn't be happening.
and it worked. It worked for some colleges, but it was really cool for the Villanova shot in 2017 when that happened. But
Mhm.
like, bro, just advance the ball, bro. They do it in the NBA, a harder league. Like we can do it in college.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
those are two takeaways of mine, and I feel really good about St. John's, bro. Like I was impressed by Caravan. We'll talk about UConn a
Mhm.
little bit later. I was impressed by him, but I wasn't too impressed by UConn. I'm definitely not impressed by Duke. They almost lost to fucking Siena.
Yeah.
So I feel good, bro.
So this is gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But we'll move on to the next game that is pretty crucial. The only number one seed to go down, and it's the one that I thought had the least chance of going down, if I'm honest.
Mhm.
Florida loses to Iowa. Todd Golden disaster class. Like I'll start with this one because that last play. I'm not sure what's worse about the last 10 seconds of that game, the fact that it happened, or Todd Golden's reasoning behind why it happened. So up two, right? I've never heard of the strategy in my life. Up two, you intentionally foul just under the line when you
Yeah.
get two chances. Maybe they would have been on a 1-on-1, but like if you're pressing, it's so much easier for Bennett Sturts to get the ball.
Mhm.
So if you want to foul their best player down two and then try to go for the win, that's crazy when you could just play off them, wait for them to come to you and play pressure defense to force like a half court shot. Like
Yep.
they had the game in their hands, bro. And like pressing there allowed Bennett Sturts to get in front of the defender, wide open three for the dude that might have punched Condon earlier in the game that the refs didn't eject him for. Storybook ending. I hate Iowa, bro. I don't like the way they play basketball, and I didn't think Florida was that good. If I'm honest, I think they might be one of the worst number one seeds of all time. They had 7 losses. The fact that they got a number one seed is because a lot of teams had to lose at the right time.
Mhm.
So I had Florida win this game, so I don't want to act too ingenuous, but I had them losing the next round. So I think
It's
it was expected, kind of.
it first like first of all, like it's unfortunate that like I mean Xavier Lee kind of had like he had a pretty good game, and
Yeah.
the fact that he had a good game and you couldn't win like that obviously like a little concerning with the roster. I think I was a fan of Lee when he was at Princeton. I thought he would be a
Yeah.
I thought it would translate playing in Florida. Obviously didn't translate as much, but I still think he didn't have like a terrible season. Like I think people are overrating how bad of a season he had.
Jake hates him, bro.
He does hate him, but I mean he's like he couldn't shoot the ball in the like first
He
couple months of the
could.
season, but like he still slowly brought it up.
He
And
picked it up in the SEC championship. In the SEC tournament, he picked it up for sure.
yeah, and then again, like Boogie Flan doesn't get enough hate in my opinion. Like his shot selection throughout games is it's pretty horrendous. He's not like a prototypical point guard. Like I don't really know what you're doing there. Um, they're like second, like I guess their second most veteran player in Ruben Chinyalu didn't show up in the game. He foul trouble all game, so like that doesn't help either. But yeah, it comes like the last play, like that's something very avoidable. Like
Yeah.
the fact that you first of all, you full court pressed and then you let them break the press so easily. Like if you're full court pressing, don't let them break the press that easily because that the whole because it's like a 3-on-2, so somebody's open on the other side anyways.
Yeah.
Like it was unfortunate, and then I also think Xavier Lee had a layup at least that he could attempt it on the other end.
He could have at least shot it. They might have given him the call.
He definitely could have shot it. He might have gotten a foul call. I don't like that was there was no dump off to how there like I don't know what he saw at the end. So
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. But I mean this does bring a great game between Iowa and Nebraska. So it's
Yes.
unfortunate for my bracket. Obviously, I think I had Florida going to the Elite Eight and then losing in the Elite Eight, but that's perfectly fine. I'll take a great basketball game in Iowa versus Nebraska if it means Florida losing. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited for that matchup. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't like super like impressed with Iowa because again, like Florida wasn't playing well. Like they were not.
That's how Iowa. As a person, I watched a lot of Iowa basketball because they're in the Big Ten, and Maryland beat Iowa. So I know Iowa is beatable because Maryland was 16th in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
So I think that's just how Iowa play, which is real.
yeah,
They're like a really like defense first. Like we're just gonna take fadeaway threes, and if they go in, they go in. And Bennett Sturts is gonna be like 60% of our offense, and we're just gonna
yeah,
figure it out. But we'll give you as much effort as we possibly can on defense. That's why that game against Nebraska would be so interesting. But
yeah.
yeah,
Agreed.
I need to cut you off.
Agreed. No, that was all I had to say. But I think it does bring us a really good game in the Sweet 16.
Yeah. One more stat before we move on to the next game. I found this stat because obviously the Thunder have a couple high picks in the draft, and Tommy
Mhm.
Haw is going to be on the board, and he's a very Thunder player. But I don't want him anymore because of this stat. Tommy Howe shoots 37% in the half court.
Oh wow,
So when the game is not in a run and go situation, he shoots 37% from the field.
damn!
That is crazy.
And he barely can create his own shot, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, he won't be asked to on an NBA team, but that
Yeah,
is definitely a stat to monitor
yeah.
because he did not impress me this tournament at all.
Yep, I agree.
And we talked about the team Iowa will be playing in the Sweet 16. The path they took to get there is also pretty cool. Vandy versus Nebraska. What a game!
Insane game. I think number one, like I I'll have Nebraska over Iowa in the Sweet 16. That's I'm a fan of Iowa. I like the way they play. They play hard. They play scrappy. They have a couple like players that can shoot the ball, that can create their own shots. And Price, what's his last name? Price.
Price Sanford.
Yeah, dude, that he's good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good, but they have a couple guards that like are scrappy on the defensive end. They give a lot of effort. The coach's son, like he's pretty good. Like I think he was like on the all defensive team in the Big Ten, or like
Yeah.
or all the honors team or something like that. So
Yeah.
they have players that can play basketball. I'm a fan of like the way they're coached, but this game though it was unfortunate. I had Vandy winning. I'm a huge Tyler Tanner fan. I knew who he was before the season started. Obviously, like I knew he was like really good. He was a freshman. But man, he has some game. Like
Yeah.
especially like he's only a freshman. Like I think I doubt he's gonna declare for the draft this year. I don't think it'd be smart for him to declare with the draft this year with how like stacked it is. But if he goes out and has another great season like he did next year, he could be a pretty decent first round pick in my opinion. I like his game. He plays hard on the defensive end. Like he's out in passing lanes. Like he's staying in front of his defender. He has a really good 3-point shot. He's like a 3-level scorer, can pass the ball. So I was impressed with what he did. He's almost made that shot for them to win, but it was
That happened
unfortunate.
twice, bro, this season. That
Yeah, I
happened
know.
super early this season as well.
Was it against? I
It's
forgot
against
what
like Northwestern. It was like against a purple team. I'm trying to remember like how
Utah?
many.
No, not Utah.
I'm not gonna be able to find it.
Yeah, I forgot too, but it did happen another time, but just a little less power maybe on the ball. It goes in, but I still think that shot going in. It was like halfway down and it came out.
Yeah, basically halfway down. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
But yeah.
But for Nebraska, Fred Hoiberg's a really good coach. That's what I thought he wasn't when he was a Bulls coach, but he's really turned this program around. And like you said, Sanford is such a sniper. He's like he's not going to be in those like Carson Edwards, like who's the Virginia guy, like Kyle guy, like Ryan Kelly, I don't know, some other like super snipers from like the Jimmer Fredettes. But he should be, bro. He's like going crazy right now from three. He's been the whole year. He shoots just like his brother plays at the Thunder, so I kind of watched a little of what to see how good he is. He's great, bro. And like you said, Tyler Terry took that game over. Like he's the only like offense Vandy had the entire night. Like he was Darius Miles didn't really play to his potential at all. He kind of looked like a casual out there. Yeah. So I think Tyler, especially on defense, that's the one thing because he's 5'11". Like you don't really think he's gonna impact the defensive end at all. But he's really menacing on that end too. He puts in a lot of effort.
he's good on the passing lane. That's the one
Mhm.
thing I saw, like really active there. Like I think that's where if you're a little smaller, you can impact the game on that end a little bit more.
Yeah, and if his offensive game improves, I mean, bro, Jalen Brunson is super short, and he made it
Yeah,
work.
agreed.
So like, he can easily go to the league. I think, he'd be fine. So I think he'll come back next year because Vandy's a lot of NIL. I think I'm gonna give him like 7 to 9 million to come back.
I think if they hit the transfer portal right, maybe build a little bit of a better team around him, they can go far next year. Like I think you need to have like a really prolific like scoring guard to like go far in the tournament. Like that's something you got to be able to have, and like they have him, so build around him, see what you could do next year.
Yeah. And the last game before we get to our picks, we have Tennessee versus Virginia. Both of us had the upset here. Both of us picked Tennessee. And for me, I'll start on this one. It's because of that point guard, bro. Jacoby Gillespie.
So
What
nice.
a tournament, bro. He's so good. If he wasn't a fifth-year grad student, he would be going to the NBA.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll be able to go to the NBA. Maybe like a late second round pick at best, based on
yeah.
how far Tennessee goes in the tournament. I mean, they're gonna get eliminated tomorrow. But I think
Nah, I have them winning.
yeah, hell no. Dude, we'll talk about Iowa State. I'm so happy with them.
Is there
Uh
guard coming back?
he's a game time decision.
Okay.
But Kobe Gillespie's in great. I wasn't too impressed with Virginia the whole season. They came oddly close to losing to Wright State. I didn't know
Hmm.
as a college. So I think I don't really have much to say on Virginia. I'm just really impressed with Tennessee. And if Nate Ament can keep getting double figures because he's been really up and down this season,
Yeah.
I think they have a chance to beat Iowa State. I acted like it was foolish to not. They're really, really high power offense, so they have a chance. Let's see.
We shall see with that, definitely. For me, it's like literally what you said, like the kind of duo and like Nate Ament and Gillespie. Like if they both they both kind of do have it going, but if Ament can get it a little bit more going, I can really see that team kind of going a little bit far. But on the Virginia end, like Virginia was they had a pretty solid season. They were in the game like continuously until the end, where there were certain plays where like you needed to make timely buckets and it just didn't happen. So unfortunate for them, but I had them losing anyway, so not
Yeah,
really unfortunate for them
not
in my
unfortunate for them.
words. But I think we can probably use this to move on into our Sweet 16 things. We'll talk about Tennessee and Iowa real quick because we were just talking about it. I know Iowa is in.
Yeah.
You have them winning.
Oh, you mean Iowa State? Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Iowa State.
yeah. I have Iowa State winning the entire thing.
Oh, yeah, you do have Iowa State winning the entire thing.
Which
Yeah,
means I have them winning this.
yeah. I'm
Yeah, we can talk about that first.
They have, in my opinion, like probably the best shooter in like college basketball. He's
Bro,
a
Mom
sniper, man.
Chilovich,
Yeah,
bro.
he's a sniper. He's
Uh,
a sniper.
Shravin picked Iowa State. Shravin's our friend who's appeared on the podcast a couple times. He picked Iowa State to go to the championship game and lose to Duke. And when Joshua Jefferson went down, he was like, "Oh, am I cooked?" Like, no, bro. As long as Mom Chilovich is there,
Yeah,
everything is okay,
yeah.
bro. He's shooting 50% from three on
Mm-hmm.
6 to 7 attempts a night.
He's dirty, man.
He's disgusting, bro.
And then you have someone like Lipsy that's coming in, giving you like great production while your other guard Jefferson's like on the bench, so and like hurt. But I don't know. I feel an upset here. I know Iowa State is definitely the better team, but again, Momcilovic is a great shooter, but there could be one game where any great shooter can go cold.
He already had that game, bro. He was terrible in the first game.
Yeah, but then he went 4 for 9 the other game. So like maybe it happens one more time.
Maybe we got 2 terrible games in him.
Yeah, maybe it's like Sweet 16, a little pressure situation. Your star guard is maybe if Jefferson's not healthy, I could see it happening a little bit more. But like basketball wise, I don't really have like a sense to like why Tennessee will win or anything. Like I think they'll make it competitive. Like they have a good team, they play hard, they usually have a much better defense for Tennessee standards, but it's still not like a bad defense this year by any means. But if Gillespie and like Ament have it going, I think they can keep up. So it's definitely a
Yeah,
game that it will be close.
yeah. If Jacoby has it going, they could really pose a threat.
Yeah.
The only thing is they've been kind of inconsistent the whole year. Like they
Mhm.
had a game where they beat Florida by like 30 and then
Yeah.
ended up losing by 40 to them like 2 weeks later. So I think they've been super inconsistent. It's gonna be if they caught a heater, they caught a heater. But Iowa State, we talked about Momcilovic, fantastic shooter. The
Mhm.
reason why I picked them is their defense, bro.
Yeah.
And they play the passing lanes. They play physical. Like they play like a Thunder Pistons level of like we're
Yeah.
gonna beat the shit out of you and like see how you handle this sort of like offense. And then they have shooters on the other end, which and Joshua Jefferson in most of their offense. If he can come back, I don't think he has a chance.
Yeah.
But I think with him gone, it's gonna be a bit closer. But I think if they just put that much ball pressure on Kobe and Amen and their other star players, I don't know if they can handle that sort of pressure, and I don't think they have the defense to be able to handle the shooters on the outside. So I'll take Iowa State to win this one. By maybe I'll say by 8 points. They're going to be 5.5 point favorites. I'll take the. I'll
Yeah.
take.
So if Tennessee does win, this would be huge for my bracket because I had UCLA winning against UConn. So it would be
So did I. Yeah.
So,
Fucking Mick Cronin. I hate that guy, bro. Can we take a
so,
second, Ashley?
yeah.
So Mick Cronin told everyone that Tyler Bilodeau, UCLA's best player, averaging 20 points a game, would be back for the round of 64 game. He rules him out 30 minutes before then and says he's confident he'll be back for the next game. And then he doesn't play that game either. So obviously, like, I'm not going to pick fucking UCLA if I know their best scorer is injured.
Facts, man. He
Scammer.
averages literally like 19 points per game, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy work. And then you get
Anyways.
fucking dude Tyler Perry over here, or whatever the name is, going out there shooting like 0 for 9 from the field.
Yeah. But a good transition. The team benefited from that. UConn, they play Michigan State. I had Michigan State in this situation losing to UCLA, so that's
So did I as
fantastic.
well.
But in this game, I'll pick first. I have that's actually tough. I never think about this one because I didn't pick it in my bracket. I think I'll take Michigan State.
Mhm.
And I hope UConn wins. Set up St. John's with UConn round 4, round 3.
Yeah.
So that could be kind of cool. But I'll take Michigan State to win this. I think just think of the better team. Alex Caravan had like a really good game, like for no reason. Hit 27 point, ran on career high. Like he's never played that well. He's not that good. And Braden Mullins, like if he found a shot, he found a shot. But every other game this year he's been terrible, and this game he found it. So I think I'll choose to bet against him. Jeremy Fears, although dirty, is probably the best point guard left in this tournament. Nope. Darius Acuff.
And then Darius Acuff definitely. And then when you have Cohen Carr, who's also like making like 40% of his threes in the tournament, I think that helps him a little bit too.
Yeah, that was random too. I didn't know he could shoot.
Yeah, I didn't know he could shoot either, but he apparently can shoot. So if he's still shooting lights out, I think Michigan will be fine.
Yeah, and it's Izzo in March still. We're at the end of March, but still March. So I'll take Michigan State to win this game.
I agree.
Okay, we can move on to the next one then. So this is the least interesting game to me. I don't think I'll watch this game.
I'm not watching this one.
Yeah, Alabama, Michigan.
They have a good team, a lot better of a deeper team than I thought. I had Texas Tech winning, which is a terrible pick by me. I don't know why.
I had Akron winning.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. But I don't think Phylon is. I know he's good enough. He's great, but I don't think he can do it by himself against this good of a Michigan team. So I think Michigan handles it pretty easily.
I don't know if I should pick Phylon because his favorite player is Shea.
He's good, man.
He said he wants to play like Shea. It's crazy. Yeah. So I'm taking Michigan. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Michigan might win this by 20. They're so good. I'm really worried about that game against Iowa State now. Yeah. But Michigan. We already proved this season. Michigan would win. I think this is the best game though. Duke St. John's. We both made our picks for this earlier. We both had this exact match. Oh no, I had this matchup. But we both discussed this game a bit earlier. I have St. John's winning this game. Zuby Ejiofor versus Cam Boozer. I think the winner of this game is gonna be whoever wins that matchup. Cam Boozer has not shown me anything so far to make me trust him in a March Madness game. He was really bad against Siena. He was really bad against TCU. And those two teams,
He wasn't terrible against TCU.
Dude, he was bad for like 35 minutes, bro. Like they wanted to run at the end, but like he was, especially the first half, he had 2 points and 1 rebound. Like he was like, so Zuby Ejiofor's had a great tournament, and Cam Boozer's not had a single defender on him that's as good as Zuby. So I'll take St. John's. And it would be really, really nice if St. John's get their shooting going, which they haven't really done for the first, at least last game against Kansas. And I think if Duke had Caleb Foster, I might take him to win this game. I know he actually might come back, which would be crazy because he broke his foot fucking a month ago.
Yeah.
But I'm very confident he won't be the same player because he broke his foot a month ago. So I'll take St. John's in this.
I'll take Duke. I think Boozer, in my opinion, is like good enough for. I wouldn't say he's like matchup proof. I don't think like he's one of those players in college where he's like a Dabanza that just still can give you 20. But I think he's good enough where like he can overcome the matchup, and that's something I think he will be able to do. This is a huge game in my opinion for him, with like trying to maybe be like a top 2 pick instead of 3. Like you show out in this game that could really show something for your draft stock a little bit, playing good in the Sweet 16 against a great defender. But Duke's also like their shooters outside of him they've stepped up, like Sarr and Evans. Like Evans, in my opinion, has had a really good tournament. He's kind of showcased more of his ability to like be a downhill scorer. He's been known to be like a really good shooter, but now he's getting into the paint a little bit more, creating for himself because he kind of has to when teams are going to double team your team's best player. And then when you have a player like Sarr shooting 40% from the field, like from 3, I think that's a good contributions all around. And they also got one of their centers back too. So like that's another like rotational piece that's like added back to with them. He didn't play great last game, but like first game back. So like,
he also entered that game in a walking boot and left that game in a walking boot.
Apparently though, they're saying that he's just in a walking boot because they don't want him to like put any weight on it to risk like anything. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, and they're playing in a fucking college basketball game, bro. This is scammers. Whatever.
There was like a video of like all of them going to dinner with a couple like yesterday or something, and him and like Foster were just rolling in their walking boot, just rolling around.
So stupid, man. Just don't play. Like it's whatever.
Yeah. It's college. Like it's not that. I get it's more.
I know it's that big a deal, but
it is that big of a deal. But like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
But I think this is definitely going to be the best game out of. I think
the game that we discussed next.
Okay, yeah, this game is huge too. That game is huge too.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Iowa, Nebraska is like okay. I'll go Houston, Illinois, then Duke, then Iowa, Nebraska, then St. John's and Duke.
And we can quickly touch on Houston versus Illinois. So we both predicted this matchup in this round. I'm assuming because it's pretty chalk to get here, 2 versus 3.
Yep.
But I will take Illinois.
Okay.
Which is like I picked Illinois to go to the Final Four already. So I had this picked. So I'm gonna stick to my pick. Houston has played really well to start this tournament. Kingston Flemings has been a mid-range demon, and their defense is obviously second to none. But Illinois' offense is second to none. And if I was to choose between if I was to choose a matchup between the best defense and the best offense, which this is, I'm going to go with the best offense. So I think Illinois is going to get hot. They don't have a person that can stop Keaton Wagler, and Stojakovic is actually playing a little better than normal. So I'll take Illinois. I'm
going to take Houston in this game. Flemings has been good, but like he hasn't really had like a really, really like explosive game on the offensive end. I think that's a game he'll be able to do it against like Illinois. They're not well known for their defense by any means. Like they're not an amazing defensive team. Like I think Houston, even though Houston is known for their defense this season, they've had more of a dynamic offense. And you got shooters and players like Uzan, Sharp, Senak. You got a lot of like big bodies around Flemings, and I think Flemings can get it going. I don't know. I think Samson's gotten close a lot. He's had really good teams, but this is like the one team where it's like a mix of like you have a dynamic guard plus an elite defense. And I think that's he did have that in like LJ Cryer, you could say, like, or like Jamal.
Flemings is different.
They weren't as dynamic offensively as Flemings is. Their like mid range wasn't as polished. Like Flemings is a better shooter in my opinion.
100%.
He's 6'4". I don't really know. I don't really see the 6'4".
He looks like he's 5'11". I have no idea how is this. He's at max 6'1". I saw him picture next to his sisters who definitely aren't 6'2".
His sisters are
the same height as him.
Yeah.
Hell no.
But I mean, he's also a menace on the defensive end too. He wasn't known to be good defensively before coming to college, but I mean, when you're playing for Houston, you got to be good on defense if you want to be on the court. So I'm gonna put my trust in him. I have them winning the whole thing, so
Yeah.
I gotta put my trust in him. So
Yeah.
I have them.
So next is Arkansas, Arizona. This is also
This is a
insane
great,
game.
yeah.
Battle of the best, two of the best, we'll say, freshman guards left,
Mhm.
and Darius Acuff and Braden Burries. We also have potential lottery pick Koa Pete playing in this game as
Yep.
well. Malik Thomas was definitely a highly rated recruit. I don't think he'll be a potential lottery pick, but he's definitely really really good.
Mhm.
Um, who do you have winning this game?
I have Arizona winning this game.
Me as
I
well.
know Arkansas has like one of the best point guards or the best point guard in the country in Darius Acuff,
Yes.
but again, like Arizona has a very very solid deep team. It's not like Acuff doesn't have any help. He does have help. Like he has
Yeah.
players like Malik Thomas, Billy Kennedy, great defender, like a bunch of players around him, but you have Braden Burries, Jaden Bradley, Koa P. Like you have a lot of like I think in my opinion they have like the best 8-man rotation in the country, like pretty easily. And that's kind of what got them to being a 31-2 like team. Their offense is really good. Like defensively, they compete. And Koa Pete's actually had like, in my opinion, a better tournament than Braden Burries has had. Like Braden Burries has been good, but he hasn't been like amazing. And
Mhm.
Jaden Bradley's also had a really good tournament too. So if
Yeah.
Braden Burries can get a
Opinion.
little bit Braden Brace can get a little bit more hot on the offensive end, I think it's really going to be hard to stop all of them combined.
Yeah, I have Arizona winning too, but I think it's gonna be close, bro.
Yeah, I
Darius
agree.
Acuff, he's putting together a case, and
Yeah,
this is my take from the Duke game as well. Cam Boozer is playing to be a top 2 pick. He's also playing to remain a top 3 pick, bro.
yeah, yep.
Because Darius Acuff, I wouldn't take him above Cam Boozer. I
Hmm.
think Cam Boozer's a more polished prospect, and I think Darius Acuff doesn't really know what defense is. But there are a lot of people that really benefit off tournament runs,
Hmm.
and he's averaging 30, bro. So I think I don't see a way he doesn't get 30 in this game,
Yeah.
and I don't really see a way Arkansas wins because Arizona is just the healthiest team, the deepest
Hmm.
team, and I think they have a cakewalk to the Final Four, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
We'll quickly touch on the last two. This is a game that you really like, Iowa,
Mhm.
Nebraska. And I'll give you the floor. Who do you
Yeah,
have when you already said you had Nebraska winning this
I have
game, but
Nebraska winning this game. I think another like storyline in this game is Price Stanford used to play at Iowa, so like
yes.
it's him versus the old team. Like that's a pretty cool storyline playing them in a Sweet 16 game. I think he was also a Nebraska fan when he was a kid, so like it's kind of like full circle moment for him. So it's like
Mm,
pretty crazy. But I think Nebraska I think they got it. Both teams, honestly, like defensively, they get after it. They play hard. They kind of know what they're doing. But I don't know. I'm gonna trust that Nebraska's offense a little bit more. I think they're a little bit less streaky compared to Iowa's offense, like you said. Like Iowa's more relying on like the harder threes to go down, and Nebraska's
mm.
more like you're playing more in the half court, which I think I like better, and I like their chances.
I'm trying to think who I have. Yep, I think I have Nebraska as well. Iowa kind of sucks. I don't really know how they ended up here. Like, I think they were a really big pick to lose to Clemson. They
Mm-hmm.
barely get by Clemson. I have no idea how they beat Florida, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So, and I
And
think Nebraska's actually,
Florida was bad, bro.
yeah, I think Nebraska's actually really good.
Actually,
They're the fifth
real
best
quick
team in
on
the
Florida.
country.
Real quick on Florida. I was telling our friend Jake this. Jake thinks that their coach isn't a good coach. I agree with him because last year in the tournament too, like they were down. Like I think like majority of the games they played in the tournament, and he got bailed out by Walter Clayton Jr. making the craziest contested threes I've ever seen somebody make in like back
Yeah,
to back to back and back to back games. Like it wasn't you. There's no way you're calling a play for that. All your only play is give Walter the ball and let him do it. Like
yeah,
he just like that run kind of saved him. Like, and there wasn't really coaching involved in that. It was just somebody you had like the hottest player in the NCAA tournament on your team, and
yeah.
he
I,
had to do it.
I I agree. I've never thought that Todd Golden was a good coach.
Yeah,
I think one, his tournament record outside of Walter Clayton is 1-3.
yeah.
And he's 0-1, 0-1, 6-0, 1-1. I wonder what the outlier is. The outlier definitely isn't the three fucking terrible seasons.
It's Walter
But
Clayton, bro.
yeah. I will say they did win the SEC in the regular season.
Yeah,
They were a 1 seed. Like I don't think they were that good, but like he's still like a decent coach. Um but we shouldn't roast Florida too much before Jake
yeah.
gets it. We can. This is like I'm not gonna watch this game either. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll watch the 7:35 game at this time. But Texas, Purdue, two of the most boring teams. Texas has that one big man
Mhm.
who apparently is not their best player. I know their best player is Dylan Swain. I'm pretty sure who's their
Oh,
three.
yeah.
But that guy's been dominating, bro. That big man, he's going crazy.
Mhm.
Um, but I think Purdue's gonna be too much for them. Braden Smith hasn't really had a good game yet in the tournament. I think he's gonna break out.
I'd like
Kaufman Wren is like 30. I don't even know how he's allowed to play.
Dude,
Like,
yeah, I swear every time I've turned on Purdue in the last 5 years, he's been in a game.
yeah, I'm not even sure how he's
Always
still
like wearing the
eligible.
shortest shorts on planet Earth when he's in the game too.
Yeah, fade Kaufman Wren, bro. I don't know. Like, I guess he's made good money, but like you're not going to the NBA, buddy. Let's chill out. I'll still go Purdue. I think Purdue has a rude awakening coming in the next round.
They play
I
Arizona.
think they get Arizona. Yeah. Oh
That's
my God, it's gonna be.
yeah, just
I think Arkansas is closer to Arizona than Purdue is. So
yeah,
so,
100%.
yeah,
100%. Braden Smith had a terrible game last game. I think he had close to 10 turnovers, I'm pretty sure. I
yeah.
don't think he had
Who did they play last game?
uh,
They played some whack opponent, bro. I'm trying to
dude, why is it not why
Yeah, like I don't even barely remember. Oh, they played no, they didn't play Utah State.
Miami?
Yeah, another
Yeah,
boring ass team, bro.
yeah. But I mean, Miami did have probably one of their best seasons in like school history,
Yeah,
probably.
since Isaiah Wong was there for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, again not a fan of either one of these teams. Braden Smith's a cool point guard, so I'll take Purdue.
Yeah. But that is our full Sweet 16 preview. We ran this episode a bit long, so maybe we'll push the Elite Eight to a different day.
Yeah.
Maybe right after Sweet 16 is over on Friday, we can do the
Mhm.
Elite Eight.
We'll do that right after. And then we'll get you guys an NBA episode out tomorrow because there's only about like 10, 11 games left for most teams, and the seeding's kind of heating up in the West and even in the East for in some parts. So we'll get that out for you guys. But until then, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Off The Dribble Pod, and we will see you guys next episode. Peace.